After making all the preparations, after arrangement of all the equipment and availability of all the buffers, now this is the time to proceed further and start the procedure for plasmid DNA isolation using MaxiPrep method. The first step is the harvesting of the bacterial cells from the bacterial culture, which we established in our previous day's experiment or some earlier experiment. For harvesting the bacterial samples, we have to spin the tubes at 4 degrees centigrade for 10 minutes and 6000 G. This step is going to settle all the bacterial cells in the form of a pellet at the bottom of the tube. The supernatant is no more required, it can be discarded. Once the supernatant is discarded, the next step would be resuspending the bacterial cells into a P1 buffer. The P1 buffer, which we already talked about its composition, is a resuspension buffer. We are going to use 10 milliliter volume to resuspend our bacterial sample. So after this step, all those bacteria which were earlier found in 500 milliliter volume are now found in 10 milliliter volume. Once you add P1 buffer, you have to resuspend the bacterial pellet. It can be done by simple swirling, or it can be done by pipetting the liquid, the buffer, up and down using micropipette. This 10 milliliter suspension can be shifted to the second tube if you have more than one harvested tubes of the bacteria. Then the same volume can be shifted and the same procedure of resuspension of the bacterial sample can be repeated, so that all the bacterial cells should be present in this 10 milliliter volume of P1 buffer. Now this cell suspension in the P1 buffer is going to be transferred in a new 50 milliliter tube so that we can proceed further for lysis. The next step after harvesting is the lysis, and the lysis is done using lysis buffer, the P2 buffer. 10 milliliter or equal volume of lysis buffer is added to the bacterial cell suspension, and we can mix this P2 buffer with the cell suspension by simply rotating up and down the tube. And mind it, capping this tube before you can start mixing up the bacterial suspension, cell suspension, and the lysis buffer. It is not advised to vertex for mixing, because vertexing can create problem with the contamination of genomic DNA and the plasmid DNA. Leave this tube for 5 minutes at room temperature so that the process of lysis using alkaline solution can go on and maximum bacterial cells can be lysed within that time period. Once the 5 minutes incubation period is over, the next step is the neutralization of the lysis buffer. And for that purpose, we are going to add 10 milliliter of buffer P3, which is a chilled buffer, and then again mixing it 5 to 6 times after capping this tube. Just rotate upside down and upside down so that it is mixed, and mind it to do it immediately after adding P3 buffer. Leave this tube for 20 minutes on the bench so that all the proteins which have been extracted or which have been released by the bacterial cells, they can be precipitated, they can settle down. Now, in order to remove all the cellular debris, all the unwanted particles in this cell suspension or in this lysed cell suspension, we have to centrifuge it at 30,000 G using the Beckman centrifuge for 30 minutes and 4 degrees centigrades. Once this centrifugation of 30 minutes is completed, the bottom of the tube is going to have all the unwanted particles. It will have protein, broken cellular particles, and the supernatant is having our required plasmid DNA. We need to transfer this supernatant immediately to a new fresh 50 milliliter tube. And this is the step up to which we simply lysed the cells and we simply got the plasmid DNA in the cell supernatant. Now, visibly, if we see that the supernatant still contains some particulate matter, the centrifugation step can be repeated. Centrifugation time of 10 to 15 minutes is sufficient enough to settle down all the particulate matter in this tube. The next step is the preparation for elution, and this can be done, the step number 7 can be done while the centrifugation is ongoing. For this purpose, we can have the tube here, the column here. Once we place this in a position on a stand, then we have to add the buffer QBT. This buffer is added, 10 ml volume is added in this column. The buffer is drained through the column and the drained buffer is going to be discarded. The next step is to apply the supernatant on this column, which supernatant was achieved or was made available from step number 6. This is a mixture of nucleic acid, and once we apply it on this column, the DNA is going to be bound with the resin. After applying the supernatant, QC buffer 10 milliliter is added so as to wash out any unwanted molecule, and washing is done using this 10 ml QC buffer 2 times to ensure good quality elution. At the same time, keep in mind to emptying the waste collection tube. Now the plasmid DNA at this stage can be eluted using the buffer QF. The QF buffer, the elution buffer, is added in the column in a volume of 15 milliliter and let it pass through the column using force of gravity. Once the plasmid DNA is eluted, it is in the tube and it can be processed further for its precipitation, for its purification using the method which you already know. For example, use of 100% isopropanol, and then centrifugation step. Supernatant is not required because all the DNA has precipitated and is now at the bottom of the tube. The next step would be addition of ethanol so that the DNA can be washed. 70% ethanol is used and the swirling is going to, gentle swirling is going to give the washing to the ethanol. Again, swirling can give washing to the DNA. Again, centrifugation so that no DNA should be wasted through the ethanol removal. Allow this pellet to get dry, and once this pellet is dried, we can redissolve this pellet into 500 microliter of TE buffer. Now this buffer, after using this TE buffer and after multiple times micropipetting, this DNA or the plasmid DNA is completely eluted and is now ready to use for further experiments.